ever-changing world of finance, navigating market turbulence can be a daunting task for any investor. Today, I would like to welcome Cassie Carstens, Wealth Manager at Woodland Wealth, to share some of his insights on a recent article that I would like to question him on. Welcome, Cassie, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Madeleine. Good to talk again.
Cassie, in one of the recent articles, specifically on market turbulence, there was a terminology you referred to as financial contentment. What exactly did you mean by this?
Financial contentment is something that's quite close to our heart because we actually got a very good view of the damage that money can do and vice versa, the incredible great that it can do. One must not get confused. There's a definite space, psychology and life coaching, etc. And that's not our role. Our role is to be that link between money, or viewing money as an enabler, and to get the client to have that feeling of contentment by means of how he is living his life or her life with the money at their disposal. You might think it's probably not possible, but we often find clients with a lot of wealth, but there's not an automatic link between wealth and happiness. And whether we like it or not, we're just not caught up in the returns and the figures. We play an integral role in almost getting clients to reach that point of contentment with our discussions with them. So it's something we're still scratching the surface with it in terms of a process around it, but we're finding more and more evidence, of that working in practice.
Now, Cassie, what would you say? How can regular individuals make sure that they pass their wealth on successfully from one generation to the next?
Yeah, it's a great question because, the first question, is always around the facts and the figures and that is what financial contentment is not. A practical thing that we find a lot is that people tend to just not speak about finance in their house. You have, let's use an example of a father figure in a house, or, the patriarch, and he's sitting with all the knowledge around money, and he might be a successful businessman or businesswoman, but he hasn't passed those principles on, for example, to his kids. Just sitting them down and talking about the concepts of money. Because the danger of that, and what we're seeing now, is that if you have siblings or kids or whoever in that party or spouse, suddenly the patriarch passes away, or the matriarch passes away, and now these individuals inherit this sort of big wealth. And they don't know what to do with it. It's frightening. It's daunting for them. And that's why we would advocate to people, have the discussions. And if you can't have the discussions, we'll get the family in. And we'll almost not mediate, but we'll explain to them how intergenerational wealth works. The other thing is also getting clients to understand and realize how they can spend some of that money within means on stuff that just generally makes them happy. And that can be within your own family. I mean, just taking your family on a holiday, not let the kids pay for it, or philanthropy. People struggle with those concepts. They struggle with doing away with their capital, and money shouldn't be something that makes you unhappy. But you first need to have that base of contentment before you can go to that next step. It's arguably something we can talk about hours for or about. But in essence of time, that's what I say about that.
Now, Cassie, and then lastly, I'd like to find out, can you explain how having a strong investment plan can help someone succeed financially in the long run?
So the financial plan, should be initiated or guided by the financial planner. It's not up to the client to get that in place, but think of a financial plan as the old adage of building a house on sand versus rock. Whether we like it or not, the world will arguably never be a straightforward, simple place. There will always be something to worry about. And what we find is you can't, live those principles of financial contentment if you get upset around every corner when something goes wrong in the world. So the financial plan needs to be well articulated, In another example, it would be like an architect drawing up plans for a house. Every time you're uncertain about something, you know that there's a plan or a process that you can go back to. And it is articulated, it is written out, it must be easily understandable. And if that base is in place, the hope that we like to get is if we can get it right, clients refer to the plan or the process, and they don't get that anxiety or being upset when the world frequently decides to turn itself on its head again. It forms part of a base, and if that base is in place, you sort of take a big step forward to that principle of financial contentment. It's one of the legs that one should bank on.
Thank you so much, Cassie. Thanks for sharing your insights and your knowledge, specifically when it comes to financial contentment and what it means to have a strong investment plan in place. I think for those of you who would like to find out more or get connected with Cassie, you are more than welcome to visit the website at www.woodlandwealth.co.za or connect with him via LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your time, Cassie.
Thanks, Marileen. I think we struggle to not have the last word sometimes. So I would add that the trick around these things is that it's not a one-size-fits-all. We work with several different clients, and we learn such a lot about everyone's view around what makes them happy around money, and growing with them through that, and trying to take the steps with them to find out how we can play that role in getting that place. Yeah, I think that's the special part. And everyone's got that version. We must just help them get on that path.
Walking that path to prosperity with the clients makes a difference.
Where it gets real, that's what we enjoy.
Thank you, Cassie. Look forward to chatting to you again soon.